Do they really have
What
a
was all of
tiger
that?
policy and a snake
Apparently.
policy? Like, what's going?
I
Like,
don't
what are
know.
we?
Here, this is
Druids,
apparently for you.
look, druids got really drunk one night, and you would be amazed the really weird rules that are in place at different places in Estrana because of dumb shit druids did while drunk. Alright, I have officially hit the record button.
Shit.
See, now I have to cut that out. I'm just kidding. We swear so much in this.
Just every 10 seconds, some really problematic, like, comment.
Ladies
to
and
make editing
gentlemen,
nightmare.
welcome to the goddamn Kestrel Tavern. The show where we play a wonderful game of D&D. And watch my beard slowly go to unreasonable lengths as I become unreasonably disheveled and increasingly unhinged. So, as always, I'm your DM, Caleb, and today we have, and I am not going to insult any of them this week, the wonderful Leo.
That's me. Hi.
The wonderful Matt.
Yo.
We have the wonderful Lily.
Oh, hey.
And we have the wonderful Shane.
Who dat?
I didn't cop out and insult any of you. And so the other wonderful guest that we have today is my good friend Bavia. You may know him as the person who appears alongside me in all of the good episodes of Lore Party.
Wow. Shots fired.
Why was I singled out? Hi, everyone.
Hello. And so I'm just kidding. All the good episodes of Lore Party are all of the episodes of Lore Party. Like,
That's true. No bad
Um,
episodes.
None,
Zero.
never.
None.
Zero. This week we are continuing our adventures. We had a dramatic past few weeks, and today we find ourselves in a much different situation than we came into last week. It's been another week since everything's passed. Leo's face has started to heal up from a little bit of a bruise. He's managed to successfully dodge most questions on what it was, you know. So, Jonas, what was it that caused the bruise that suddenly appeared on your face?
You know, there are times when, as I'm moving around the bar, I take too long of a glance at the tooth, and this time I very embarrassingly tripped and hit my face on the bar. And, you know, I'm a big guy, so it packed a punch.
Roll a deception check.
Okay.
The universe asks him.
You know what? I believe you.
Good. That's what happened.
I choose to believe you.
There you go.
That having been said, it's a much busier evening today. We're right at about peak. It's a late afternoon. The bar is the most crowded it's been in a while. Just customers all over the place. Everyone's coming in. Everyone's having a good day. As the bar is crowded and everyone's kind of scrambling around to serve everyone, what are each of you working on and managing as the bar's at its peak? Jonas.
Taking care of customers as best I can, hanging out behind the bar, cleaning dishes, just making sure if anybody has an order that I'm getting to them as quickly as possible, and any chance I get, kind of quietly nursing the healing bruise from Axel's delightful visit.
All right, and Emmett, what have you been up to for this rushed peak?
Mostly helping behind the bar, refilling the kegs, replacing bottles that go empty, cleaning glasses, stacking clean glasses, that kind of thing.
All right, and Zia, how's the biggest peak since you've been hired going?
Well, I'm a little frazzled, but it's been a while since I started now, so it's, it's going pretty well. I'm trying to keep an eye on Emmett and Jonas and make sure that I'm, staying in sight when I'm doing good things, staying out of sight when I'm doing bad things. Things I shouldn't say good and bad, things I'm confident with, things I'm not confident with.
Right.
Also, kind of trying to stick around Jonas because I'm more interested in having him slip up and tell me what happened to his face.
All right. I'm gonna have Zia. I'm gonna have you roll a quick sleight of hand check.
Sure. 17.
All right. You had a close call, but you haven't broken any glasses today.
Yee.
No.
I thought you were
plates.
pocketing
So
the
that's,
tips.
No plates either.
Plates.
All right, and Bix, what's the hardest working customer doing at this?
Working customer is working on his 13th or 14th drink, which is about half a bag or half in the bag for me.
Yeah. So you're not even drunk yet.
Half a bag of beer.
Half a bag,
Drinking bags of beer.
That's it.
bags of
Temporary promotion.
Just some animal udder just full of beer.
See? And so as you guys are scrambling around managing all this, it's like a good mix of guests too. Like no one's been too rowdy, but it's been like good amount of regulars, good amount of new people. Like it's just this is like a solid crowd to be having too. Like, and even considering how crowded it is, like people have been pretty patient. Like anyway, so as you're going through, and I'm not even gonna have you roll a check to see if you notice him because he is not attempting any stealth. You see Regina Pin the 10th comes in carrying his crate in a grin from ear to goddamn ear, and he walks right up to the area near the bar where Jonas often stands, places a crate on the ground nice and loudly, like puts his hands on his hips, and then walks back out the door. A moment later, he walks in again. He is carrying another crate. He walks right back up to where it is. He is still grinning. He puts it down on the ground. He examines his handiwork. He glances around to see if anyone's reacting to him or noticing him. He takes another step out. He does this a continuous total of 6 times, and he starts stacking some of them. So he starts building basically a staircase of crates. So like a stack of 1 next to a stack of 2 next to a stack of 3, leading right up to the bar where Jonas is. And so as soon as he places the last one, he walks back to the entrance, doesn't go out it, and then says in the most formal voice you've heard him say, because like this is Reggie. He doesn't usually talk formally. He usually talks like a sniveling gnome who has no idea what he's doing with his life. Ladies, gentlemen, owners, and patrons of this establishment, if I might present my esteemed grandfather and the landowner of the great town of Angelstone, Regina Pin the 8th. He stands at attention and like glances around trying to see if anyone else in this bar is gonna stand at attention. Just one like slightly young half-elf who's just like just drunk enough to find this hilarious. Stands up and stands at the most mocking salute he possibly can. Other than that, a few people turn around. No one else gives a shit. Bobia, would you like to describe yourself?
Regina Pin the 8th is a person who speaks with a lot of marbles in his mouth, but he demands attention and respect anywhere he goes. Now, as he walks in, the clinking of his gold chains and jewelry just like imagine just like a bunch of just like bells just like clinking with every step, right? And he's just like stepping on, and he's just making like these big grandiose steps as he stops, and he's like, "Thank you, donkey grandson. If anything, you will get my inheritance yet." as he walks up these steps, but like he's also like a short man, and so he's not really stepping up these crates. He's like stopping, and he snaps his fingers, and like Regina Pin the Eighth comes and like bends down on all fours, and he steps on his grandson, and then up on the first crate, and he snaps again, and he just keeps going, and he very much like the definition of all bark and no bite. But we'll see.
Yeah. And so, of note is the fact that this is also the shortest gnome you've seen in a while. With the grayest hair, you didn't even know this shade of gray could exist.
Regina Pin, grandson, these are the... You hang out here?
I do no such thing. This is not the type of establishment that I would frequent. You know this, grandfather. This is this is the establishment that I told you about. That we had the discussions, as it were. And he like turns around and like glares at Jonas. I will say at this point, a handful of people are turning around, like looking just to kind of see where this is going with this. This is just kind of dinner and a show at this point.
Wouldn't be the first time you've lied to me, grandson. Remember the time I told you to clean out all the horses' stables 4 times in a row, but you only did 3? I remember. That's what I thought.
I am the manager of this town, grandfather. It would not be appropriate for me to...
Now. And Reggie the Eighth, myself, he starts unfurling a scroll, and he's like, grandson, I can't do this. Lend me your tongue.
Yes. He grabs the scroll and he pulls it out. All right, so it has been brought to his attention that your bar has continued to attract unwanted guests and actors to our fine town. He had made my measurements and weighed his costs and determined that you are now ineligible to own or run an establishment within his town. Given the type of crowd that you have been seen to draw. The guy at the fake salute is having the time of his life right now. This is the funniest thing he's seen all week.
Now, I demand to speak to the owner of this establishment. Would it be you? As he gestures to Bix.
Yeah, that's me.
Emmett audibly laughs from way back behind the bar, just cackling as he still works. As you were, Bix. Please continue.
That's me. That's me. What would you like, Big Reg?
Please. Grand Mayor will be fine.
All right, Grand Mayor Big Reg. What's up?
Yes, yes, I demand you shut down this place immediately.
Oh yeah, I'll get right on it. Everybody, he wants us to shut the place down.
All right, everyone out. Regina Pin starts trying to gesture. It's time to leave. You actually do have 1 or 2 guests that are a little bit confused, but they've already paid. They're just kind of hanging out after. They're like, whatever. Might as well clear out. People are starting to find this a little less funny and get a little bit more concerned now. Okay, does this need to be taken seriously? The handful of people who are regulars and kind of know this place are kind of start stealing glances at Jonas to try and figure out what's going on.
I demand this to be done within the next hour. As he looks at Jonas, who he assumes is the bartender, and he snaps his fingers, and he's like, "Glass of your top shelf, please." Don't give me the mixed stuff. I can smell when there's mixed stuff.
Coming right up, sir. Coming right up. And then turn and I get the fire whiskey, and I pour just a nice hearty glass of fire whiskey, and I put it in front of him. And I also smile to the people, and I kind of make like a continue what you're doing gesture to everybody in the room.
Okay. And Reggie sort of like takes this glass and he's like, I know you're kind. And like he bends down and he's like, grandson, lend me your tongue. Take a sip.
Like Reggie, like he like kind of like breathes out like a single spurt of air. He wasn't even Reggie didn't even register the taste of it. He was just like startled by the fire. There's still a little bit of fire on the glass now. He accidentally lit it. He like looks at it. Like, he like kind of cups his hand over it. And, like bit strong.
It's strong. Good. Thank you. And Reggie the Eighth just gulps the entire thing down in its entirety and smashes the glass on the ground. And he's like, you might need someone to pick that up. Much like this entire bar. Now, and he looks over to Jonas again, and he's like, now, yes, Barkeep, you must be the prime witness amidst all these examples. Did you know there was a woman who attempted to attack an exalted scribe from another town, and we, the members of this bar, had failed to stop it? Now, I don't know what adventurers are coming through this bar, but I take it as barkeep. You must be the one to help mitigate all these problems. What other sorts of scoundrelry have been happening in this bar? You explain to me now what happened, and maybe I might just let you go with a bottle of whatever you may desire. But the rest stays here.
I'm gonna have Jonas and Emmett, both of you roll I'm gonna say history check, because I don't know what else to necessarily have this be.
Okay.
With advantage for both of you.
Sweet. Thank
15.
God for advantage. 14.
Alright. So you guys are actually like loosely aware that, like, strictly speaking, like, as much as he looks like a joke, he does technically have the authority to kick you guys out, because he is technically the landowner of the bar. So even though Jonas is the landowner of the city, so even though Jonas is the owner of the bar, that he's not outside of his rights to try and kick you out if he actually tries to enforce this in any way.
Well, in regards to the incident you're talking about, I'm just glad that she came here, where she didn't do any damage to the other fine businesses in this town. I know she was traveling from point A to point B, and I'm glad that she came here and that we were able to handle her and all of her rambunctiousness in a time of emotional tension. Yeah, that was a fun night.
Emotional tension. Mr. Barkeep, let it be known that if your spirits are responsible for any engaging of social emotional tension, you explain to me instantly.
Oh, she was emotionally tense long before she came into our hollowed halls.
I'm going to need more accounts than simply yours.
At this
By all means, ask around.
yeah.
And Reggie the Eighth looks around and locks eyes with Zia and is like, yes, another person who has worked here. Now, listen, whatever this thing is paying you, I can pay you double for accurate accounts. What has happened amidst this bar?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of things going on, but nothing we haven't handled, I think, with grace under Vix's leadership.
His leadership.
I'm
And
a
you-
great leader.
Okay. I see. Regina Pin, grandson, why are you wasting my time? What are we going to tell other people?
Yeah, like, Reggie starts whispering. It's not him. He's not the owner. He starts like nodding toward Jonas.
He's not
He's
the.
not the owner. Starts
He's
nodding.
not.
He's
he's
not
not
the
the-
owner. He's just some bum.
He's not the owner.
He's the owner.
Regina Pin, do you know who I am? Who am I?
You're Regina Pin the Eighth.
Regina Pin the Eighth, and what is my title? Go ahead.
A couple weeks ago, it was landowner. You changed it again, I think.
Yes, to Grand Mayor Big Reg. I don't know if you remember. I'll have you know that the people in this bar respect me. And they would not lie to me, so either they are and you are questioning my judgment. And of the grace of these people, or you are lying to me. Now, which one is it, Regina Pin?
Look, everyone I've talked to said that they didn't do anything. That some lady just attacked him and he didn't do anything. That's like Regina Pin the 10th just starts like pacing frustratedly. Now at this point, someone else actually walks up. It's the elven woman, who's been like a semi-regular for the past month or two. She has since switched her regular drink to just a stein of ale, and she's been drinking it comfortably for a week or two now. She walks up, takes a swig of it, places it down, gives like a half smirk, and says, I was present during the incident, and I can confirm that the staff and owners of this bar did everything in their power to prevent the situation from escalating, and they handled it appropriately.
Finally, some grace and some actual truth around here. And
The elven woman winks at Emmett and then goes to sit back down.
Emmett winks back.
okay. And question
As I'm serving
is,
customers. Also, I pat Bix on the shoulder as I'm like going from customer to customer.
Now, at this point, some of the customers have actually like gained like some interest in this, and so there's a few people who have actually like kind of moved their seat closer, or if there aren't any seats available, just kind of stood up and stood nearby. So like you've got a little bit of a crowd starting to gather for whatever this is.
okay. And as Regina Pin looks around and he's like, well, I suppose I was given some incorrect information, as he just like glares at his grandson.
Look, that's what I heard. Okay.
It's what you heard. Okay.
What about that?
Let me.
The other
Go
thing
ahead.
I told you about. The other thing. This thing.
Yes. As he opens up his scroll one more time. Yes. Oh my goodness. You hosted a town-wide drinking contest, and its
Despite
participants.
repeated insistence that I tell you to cease this tradition.
And the participants were reported to have caused disorder. What have you say to this, barkeep? You were the one providing the spirits. Surely you are a man of moral character and servitude.
You know, I think if we can certainly poll the room to see how the yearly drinking competition goes, but I would say that night was definitely there was some disorder within our walls, but as memory serves, everybody left peacefully at the end of a long night. They managed to release that catharsis here safely with us present, watching over them lovingly. I served many a drinks. It was a good night.
I certainly released a shitload of catharsis.
Zia had to clean it up after.
Is catharsis another word for vomit?
And I assure you, I did a good job. Look around. There's no more vomit.
Or catharsis.
Or catharsis.
Now then, I don't suppose such procurement of social tension could not have taken into account other damages across the town? What if there was a building lit on fire? Or suppose a tiger was introduced to the area? What would you have done then? It wouldn't have been in your walls then, wouldn't it? Now, secondary damages also responsible for those who have caused it.
Did that happen?
Reggie,
Did you not tell us that a building burned down and there was a tiger like 3 weeks ago?
Not those things specifically.
Regina, was there a tiger introduced?
Yeah, Reggie. Did you not tell us about a tiger?
One of the druids wild shaped on their way back. That was could have been a wild tiger.
A wild tiger? You know what we do to tigers around here, Regina Pin. And I hope you know what we do to snakes.
Regina Pin opens his mouth, closes it. Opens his mouth, closes it. Decides that maybe opening and closing your mouth repeatedly is not the thing you want to do to avoid comparisons to snakes. And says, someone puked on the sidewalk.
Okay. Now, listen, I don't mean to be the bad guy in this situation. I see it. You guys are having fun. Who said that? And question is let's see. Emmett, thank you. Is Emmett in the back? Like, can Regina Pin see him?
Emmett, are you trying to make yourself
I mean, I'm
or...
cleaning dishes in the sink towards the back, but like it's behind the bar. I can be seen. After I said that, I did try and play it off like I hadn't said it. I was being mischievous a little bit. So
I'm gonna have you roll. I'm gonna have you roll just a quick. Let's do a stealth check.
Sure.
Roll for dish it.
The dice like me today. I rolled for stealth 21.
Nice. All right, and then another thing. Jonas and Zia, I'm gonna have both of you roll insight.
Jonas. 10.
12. But since we're lying today, 14.
Who said anything about lying?
And so you notice Reggie the 10th is starting to look a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit more irritated, and so he basically says last week, the thing from last week.
The thing from last week?
Just don't say the other thing.
Regina Pin the 10th, you will not tell me what to speak and not speak. I remember. A visiting nobleman was harassed and berated by one of your guests. And I remember because this complaint reached back to me personally. Now I will have you know there will be no disrespect for the people in this town, much less those who could end your life in a heartbeat. Do I make myself clear? And like, Regina Pin isn't like just saying that just to one person. He's saying it just to the entire room.
A lot of people in the bar right now are starting to get a little bit concerned. Most of the people in the bar are actually either gathered around at this point or starting to look around a bit. And like, there's actually starting to be a little bit of concern. Okay, like this guy's kind of a the world's shortest shit show, but he might actually be able to close this place down. He's kind of wearing weirdly nice clothes for that.
All right.
Uh,
Well,
With permission, Grand Mayor, can I speak to the nobleman last week?
the nobleman last week.
The one you were just speaking of, yeah.
Regina Pin the 10th?
Yes,
Who was this nobleman?
the one that he whispers. I'm gonna have you guys do a perception check. I'm gonna have all four of you do a perception check. Emmett and Leo at disadvantage. Or sorry,
At
Emmett and
disadvantage?
Jonas at disadvantage.
Okay. So that's roll twice, lower number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Shit.
7.
7.
Nice.
Yay.
Mine
Best
was a 4
friends.
and his was a 20.
All right.
Blaze it!
Bix, Bix, you're the only one who hears what Reggie the 10th says. And he
Yes,
says,
yes.
and he whispers, Nobleman Taniskro.
Nobleman Taniskro. We will not have him involved in such diminutive ramblings. In fact, they say that time is money. Regina Pin, are you wasting me money? That comes out of your inheritance.
He didn't open his mouth any of those times. He just like gestured that he was going to, and then didn't, and then backs off quietly.
You there, barkeep, what is your name?
The name is Jonas.
Jonas, I had expected something with less syllables, but barkeep and Jonas have the same amount of syllables. Here you are making me talk more. Jonas, what business do you have with Nobleman Taniskro?
The nobleman. We here at the tavern, and Bix, is it okay if I speak on behalf of us here at the tavern?
Ah, yes, the owner. Yeah, yes. Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Not the owner.
Yes.
Thank you,
He,
Bix.
like, Reggie the 10th shuffles over and like whispers back, I'm gonna have all of you guys, and none of them are gonna be at disadvantage. I'm gonna have all four of you roll a perception check again when Reggie's gonna walk over and whisper again.
Am I involved in this perception check or no?
Well, he's whispering to you.
Got it, okay.
I spoke too soon about the dice liking me. That one is a 8, so a little better, but not good enough.
24.
Damn.
13. 6.
All right, so Jonas is the only one to hear it this time. Reggie the 10th walks up and whispers to his grandfather, he's not the owner, he's the one he told us about.
He's the one. Oh. I understand now. You there, fake owner, what is thy name?
Fix it. Big
Bix. Yes, good name. Bix, one syllable, incredible, very breathed on the tongue. Bix, why are you here?
Why are any of us here? To get hammered.
If I were to, hypothetically, Bix, ban you from this bar, then what? Then what would your answer be?
You really can't do that.
Bex, I'm gonna have you roll a history
Trust
check.
me, you don't want him getting hammered in the streets.
I'm gonna have you.
Hmm.
That's how you end up with actual wild tigers. Drunk druids.
What I roll.
They call him the wild tiger when he's out on the streets.
It's an 8.
Oh boy.
All right.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
I mean, an 8 would still do it because you've been around for a minute. He technically does have the authority to kick you out. He's short show. Like, he actually does have the authority to do this kind of weird shit he's claiming he can do.
All right. Let me do this in a way we all can benefit. And Reggie the Eighth is like kind of like getting a little full of himself, like more than he was already. And plus he has like an audience and he's like on like a stage of sorts, right? So he's like really like drinking in, no pun intended, the environment. And he's like 10 gold pieces to anyone who orders a glass of fire whiskey, excluding the cost of fire whiskey, of course, and exude
Me.
plumes of flame onto the walls of this tavern. As he like pulls like out a bag and just like throws it into the crowd. Just of gold.
So in this whole mix, Marlowe, the bard, who has somehow managed to make it this entire time without hitting on anyone because he's learned his lesson this time, steps forward.
Proud of you, Marlowe.
Mm-hmm.
So far.
And he says, I volunteer Griff. He points to the skinny dude. Griff's beard has grown out quite a bit. Like, a lot more than, like, a few weeks would normally do. Griff, like, looks left, looks right. Just kind of shrinks. Like, and he, like, Marlowe just kind of drags Griff out and just kind of says, there you go.
Let he, without sin, throw the first stone, or in this case, take the first drink. And my friends, with this, thou will be forgiven of all your sins.
Griff and Marlowe. Hang on, let me check something. Have no idea what you're on about, but whatever.
Got it.
And so, like, they're... Marlowe walks up, puts a handful of random silver pieces on the bar, and just says, fire whiskey. And then, what is it? Actually, beyond that, a handful of other patrons actually kind of walk up, and they just, like, they put some silver on the bar, too. Like, fire whiskey. Several of them actually put, like, a little bit extra, like, give you a little bit of a tip. One or two of the, like, richer-looking ones actually put a gold piece. And, like, they're, you know what? Like, they're all going to make this a show together.
I kind of, as they're coming up, I start gathering glasses, and I get one for myself, and I get one for Bix, and I get one for Emmett. Or I kind of look at Emmett and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I nod.
So I get one for Emmett. I look at Zia, like, okay, I get one for Zia, and I kind of glance over at Grand Mayor, and
then
I get one for Grand Mayor.
as you're pulling them out, one other person kind of muscles her way through the crowd, and the quietest you have heard her for the entire time you have known her, Naomi, grinning ear to ear, says nothing. Slams.
I hate Naomi.
Slams exactly the correct amount of silver and copper onto the table, and like, and it says a big Sal Ale, mix in just a little bit of that fire whiskey.
Lovely to see you, Naomi. Coming right up.
Lovely to see any friend of Big Sal.
Regina Pin makes like a note that's like, investigate Big Sal. Okay. And Reggie the Eighth also like snaps his fingers and he's like, "We have a bard here. Bard,
Like
burning music."
Marlo's just like the only instrument I know, and he pulls out like one of those like little
Like a kalimba.
yeah, like a little
Got it.
hand piano kalimba. It's just like and he just kind of pulls it out and he just like shrugs his shoulders and starts playing, and the song that he plays is
We didn't light the fire.
reasonable. Like it's like the Fantasy Town, whatever the Fantasy Town equivalent of Wonderwall would be, but like
Oh my god.
an okay cover
anyway,
of it.
here's Wonderwall.
It doesn't blow your mind, but like whatever. It's no one's ears are bleeding. Like he managed to do a workable cover of Wonderwall on a hand piano. Like
He's the best kalimba player in this room.
Incredible.
I mean,
Yeah.
handily. Get it? Handily.
Oh my god.
Oh snap! Zoom, zoom, zoom.
That's what goes on. Meanwhile, like as this song's going on, the drinks all get passed around. Everyone has their drink. Everyone's got their thing of fire whiskey. What is it? Naomi has her Big Sal with fire whiskey in it. At which point, what is it? Griff just turns around and just says, "Which wall?"
Ah, yes. All of you choose a different wall, and on the count of 3, we toast.
Everyone just like, okay, like just kind of turns around, like, and what is it? Hang on. So
I'm aiming at the two.
unbeknownst to either of the gnomes, the 2 old men and the younger guy, who have been like kind of popping in occasionally and like getting like politely drunk a handful of times. Turns out they're actually spellcasters, and they use between the 3 of them, as everyone's kind of getting into position, they send message to everyone. So in a whisper that everyone except the 2 gnomes can hear. And they manage to repeat it enough times, they just whisper to everyone like, alright, at the last minute, we're all just gonna turn around and pick the opposite wall of the one we're standing next to. Like, have it be fun. Light this place up a bit. Everyone turns around, stares at a wall, waits for a countdown. Who's gonna do it?
All right. A toast to finally slaying the Kestrel.
Everyone takes their sip, turns around, and in the biggest moment of solidarity of the bar, and do the 4 of you also join in on this? Or are you gonna go with the wall for some reason? All right.
Yes.
And in the biggest solidarity that any of the people here have ever done, Regina Pin the 10th actually kind of fake sips, so he doesn't actually blow out any fire.
Sure.
The rest, every other patron of this bar turns around at the exact same moment, and in just the most beautiful conflagration of all time.
Wait, do they all aim at me?
No, they don't aim at you. They all aim together toward the middle of the bar. Just this like burst of flames just kind of like goes directly into the like out of the edges into the center of this bar, and just kind of like turns into this like attractive but harmless fire whirlwind for a few seconds. I'm gonna have each of you roll a perception check too, and this does include Regina Pin the 8th. Each of you roll a perception check.
Roll a fire burp
Better
check.
this time.
14.
16.
5.
17.
Emmett and Jonas, you guys actually notice Marlo and Griff both kind of like have their hands just kind of waving underneath like their shoulder a little bit, so you can tell that they're the ones who are behind this. They manipulate the flames just for like a few seconds before it disappears, and it when it turns around, it reforms into the logo of the Kestrels, which is just a set of bird wings for like a split second before it disappears. At this point, the Naomi holds up her glass of like Big Sal Ale and just announces like, "One last drink for the Kestrels." At which point, everyone in the bar just starts doing like a massive round of applause. Like, just everyone's just.
Congratulations on the enormity of your success.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And Reggie, the 8th, is looking around, and I'm assuming he's noticing no distinct scorch marks.
He's noticing the lack of distinct scorch marks.
And he's like, Regina Pin. Grandson, you never told me these were magical walls. We will be back. This won't be the last time you hear from us.
He like kind of pauses for a second. Wait, no. All 4 of you roll a perception check with advantage.
That's excluding me.
That's excluding you because he's whispering to you.
20.
Roll twice.
23. 20 on the die.
You guys actually do hear, because Regina Pin's like not doing a great job of hiding it at this point because he's like really panicked. He's just like, Teniskro paid us good money to try and shut this place down.
I know. Believe me, you know what I'm doing. Don't doubt me, Regina Pin. Now then, that was the last drink, and I suppose we can repurpose this place into a haberdashery of sorts. Now then,
at which point, a red-haired man. Now you notice this red-haired man walked in probably like as everyone was just kind of lining up with the drinks because he doesn't have a drink in his hand. So he isn't one of the people who ordered. At what point he actually came in, none of you are entirely sure. But he walks up and he just kind of glances at Regina Pin the 8th and just says, "Actually, there is a matter you may be interested in."
How dare you speak to me directly? Grandson, take.
He holds up a piece of paper and he basically just says, "My employer is given to understand the legitimacy of your transaction, but wishes to place his own bid." He like hands you a slip of paper, and just kind of like folds his hands behind his back. "You will find this amount exceeds both your current offer and your he like gestures toward the thing, cost, as you call it. He is interested in owning this place."
Well. Well, it seems that my work here is done. He looks over to Jonas and he's like, "Well, barkeep, I suppose your skin has been saved from being scalded this time. You won't see the last of me, but I did like that fire whiskey.
I'll keep some behind the bar for you anytime you swing by.
Of course. Now then, what shall we tell the Teniskros that they've been outbid? They won't like this at all." And he thinks for a second. Grandson, tell the Teniskros that they've been outbid, and that perhaps they don't have as much power as they think they do within these realms. If everything works well, I could take their place. I just need to get them in a public scandal of sorts. Yes, that'll work. Yes. Grandson, make reparations immediately. We must depart.
Regina Pin just kind of panics and just kind of like looks around. Says, "Yes." He like kind of gathers up the bottommost crate, looks at it, realizes you're still standing on top of it, puts the crate back down, and just says, "After you, grandfather."
Yes, of course. As Regina Pin
And
the Eighth just kind of just clambers down.
He takes a step, and immediately when you take a step onto the second crate down, a set of playful teeth enclose on your shin.
What?
That's our boy.
Whoa! Wait, what?
And
Shit, I thought I was sitting on
one of the boxes has suddenly turned into a grinning mimic, and I'm gonna have you do a quick dexterity saving throw.
And has Regina Pin ever seen a mimic before?
I would assume most people have, at least know
Okay.
what a mimic is.
Sure. Dex saving throw, you said?
Yep.
2.
All right. You face plant, but at least it's in a slightly dignified way.
Nice. Okay.
This is a dignified face plant.
Right. If there was like an Olympic event for face planting, he'd get like an 8.5 on like the qualifier stage. Like we get that, yeah.
As per his usual, Stuart jumps up onto a stool, jumps up onto the table, cackles his little mimic butt off. For whatever mimics have a butt. Do treasure chests have a butt? I don't know how that works. Just kind of jumps behind the bar, pretends to be asleep, one eye open, just kind of seeing how people react. Is he gonna get in trouble for this time?
Here we go. Well, as you know, he's dusting himself off, and like all like the jewelry is just like jingling in the wind, right? He's like, all right, well, I suppose we must depart. It was a pleasure. Let it be known that we will not tolerate any more shenanigans inside or outside the walls of this bar. Do I make myself clear? As he like points his finger to Zia.
As all of this is going on, Regina Pin is gathering the boxes. He manages to find the one that Stuart replaced. Stuart had just like kind of hid it nearby before anyone noticed. He stacks all 6 boxes up, like kind of struggles to pick them up, and he starts kind of like stumbling his way out.
Well, it's a nice place. I might even like it. Well, we shall be off. As he turns around, kind of like, you know, like dusts off whatever like trail or cape he has and just walks out of the bar.
At this point, like everyone's just like they've had their show. This was dope. Like once again, everyone like what is it? Naomi and Marlo and Griff are all sitting next to each other. All 3 of them hold up and declare like together a toast to the Kestrel Tavern. Every other person in the bar, like one by one, like holds it up, like the drinks, the friends, the experiences, and the history. So they take a swig of the fire whiskey. They don't milk this one, but like they take another swig of whatever drinks they have that they love, and you know the ones who are kind of done for the day start heading out, start clearing out. The other ones just kind of go back to their seats. The red-haired man is still sitting at a bar stool, waiting to be served.
I think as I'm kind of gathering the glasses from everybody having taken the shots, I kind of look at Emmett and I kind of nod my head over to the red-haired guy.
I nod and I make my way over and walk over to him. Sir, welcome to the Kestrel Tavern. What can I get for you?
Nothing at the moment, but it would appear that you all and I now share an employer.
Yeah, I think maybe you might want to have a conversation with Jonas about that. But for the moment, anything you would like is, at least your first drink is on the house.
He holds up a slip of paper, and he kind of pauses for a moment, and if you would give this to the owner of this place, as it were.
Sure.
The manager, I suppose, may be a more appropriate term now.
Sure, yes. I'll take that. And so I grab the piece of paper and I walk it over to Jonas. And before I hand it to him, I lean in close to Jonas and go, "What the hell is going on?
Do they really have
What
a
was
tiger
all of that?"
policy?
I don't-
And a snake
Apparently.
policy? Like, what's going...
I don't know. Here, this is apparently for you.
Druids got really drunk one night, and you would be amazed the really weird rules that are in place at different places in Estrana because of dumb shit druids did while drunk. Like,
These troublemakers.
I mean, so after he hands you the note, he politely nods and then leaves.
Okay. I've given the note to Jonas.
I open it and read it. What's it say?
I've chosen to leave my new bar in your capable hands. We will be in touch soon. It doesn't have a signature, but where a signature would be, there is a symbol. And the symbol is, ironically, similar to the Kestrel symbol. However, instead of bird wings, it's a set of dragon wings.
Regina Pin the 8th. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say Regina Pin the 8th is just outside the bar wearing a t-shirt that says, I tried to shut down the Kestrel Tavern and all I got was a lousy t-shirt.
Perfect.
Reggie the 10th drew it with a Sharpie.
So I read the note. Do I recognize the symbol? Have I ever seen this symbol before?
You have not seen the symbol before. It's the similarity to the Kestrel logo is very clearly intentional. Like the wings are in the exact same silhouette, but they are very clearly reptilian dragon wings, rather than Kestrel wings, or rather than bird wings.
Zia, what are you up to right now in the bar?
I'm just over here talking to Bix, trying to see how long he really thought he could keep that going with the whole I'm in charge thing.
All night long.
Okay. Hi, what's up?
So I walk over and I say to Bix, "Hey boss, how's it going?" And then to you, Zia, I say, "Have you by any chance seen this symbol before?"
Caleb, do I recognize it?
You know, I'll actually let anyone who's looked at the note do a history check at this point.
Okay.
Not me.
Nope. I got a 8.
21.
None of you recognize the symbol as any official thing. A part of you is wondering whether it may be seeing the Kestrel's logo with dragon wings. Maybe it's a reference to the Draconic Council. Like, you've never actually seen anyone do the logo that way before, but like, you're wondering if maybe it's trying to be a reference to that. Other than that, this isn't a logo that you've seen up until this point, and it isn't a logo that's on anything official that you've recognized, and you've thought pretty thoroughly about it.
So if Zia doesn't recognize it, I sort of go, okay, and I kind of make a mental note that as people visit the tavern, if we have someone in town who's particularly versed in what's going on in the world, or if I get people who maybe are dragonborn or seem like they know what's going on, that I'll ask them as they swing by.
Yeah.
Does Bix recognize it?
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you? No?
Not when I'm Dragonborn.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that is a true fact. You are.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, those are,
Yes.
We
that's a
knew
real
that
thing,
already.
right?
And I say, I'm half elf, and then we high five.
Those are two truths.
End of episode.
Yeah.